Sure, I'm going to take that last one first. I think it's easiest. There are countries where American policies don't matter, and that's increasingly true, I think. I think one of the great failures of the Bush administration, and I talk about this a lot in the book because Condi Rice is such at the heart of this, I think, and her aspirations were, and her failure, likewise, is that she's a realist at heart, and we've seen that, I think, in the second term, she's come back more to that line of thinking, has moved the administration to a more moderate and often more realist perspective in its foreign policy. The currency of realism, of course, in the international relations is power. It's about the currency of power, and one measures one's place in the international regime on the international global stage by power, and you measure what other countries will do in their interest by their ability, their power to counter you. This administration will leave office unless a miracle happens between now and January 21st, 2009, with the United States actually weaker abroad than it was when this administration came into office. The irony, of course, is that Iraq was meant to be a rapid demonstration of American power. And then we were supposed to withdraw and move democracy that way. All those, we all know the underpinnings of that philosophy was wrong, the poor strategy that was not thought out. But the administration, I think it's very hard to argue otherwise, will leave the scene with the nation in a weaker position than we were at the beginning of the administration. That's the way in which I think American policy matters less to some countries. Certainly as someone who's vastly concerned, obviously, my day job with economics and with global money and trade and power in an economic sense, I think also the U.S. is increasingly unimportant. We're still important, there's no question. Are we the indispensable nation, as Madeleine Albright once said? That is less and less true. Ironically, though, I disagree on Iran. I think our policy does matter, and I think it's because of this kind of historical ebb and flow, this kind of confrontation, and I don't think it's confrontation of civilization. I think it's confrontation of ways of looking at the world. That I think the U.S. and Iran actually do occupy very important parts. And I think we will affect each other the same way the moon affects the tides. I think that will always be the case, at least for this generation, for the next generation. I think we both are, in many ways, different poles, but as Dr. Rory said, depending on how you look at these things, you can slice it so differently. In some ways, we'll be on the same side if you look at other questions and pose different questions. So I think we do affect Iran greatly. I think that's one of the exceptions. I think they will continue to affect us greatly.
I'm sorry.